Before you tonight, we have a request of Logos School for a comprehensive plan, land use designation, and zoning designation for property that's proposed to be annexed within the city of Moscow. It's located directly east of Mountain View Park. And really, we've got three components before the council tonight. We've got the annexation request for the 30 acres. And we also have really the adoption of the current comp plan land use designation for the property, which is auto urban residential. The property is currently designated that it's just within the area city impact currently. We'll need to adopt that upon annexation. And then lastly would be the rezoning of the property from the current ag forest designation to the R2 zone, which is our moderate density single family residential zoning district. So just to familiarize yourself with the subject property, 30 acres in size, directly east of Mountain View Park. You see it in the center of your screen there. We've got Mountain View Road to the northwest of the property, making a 90-degree to the north there. Also have Paradise Creek, transects the northwest corner, loops around, and then borders the southwest corner as well. Surrounded primarily by agricultural land to the northeast and south. Within the city limits boundary, which is the orange line that you see on your screen. Currently have predominantly single-family residential development and Good Samaritan to the southwest of your screen. This is a topography map, so those lines that you see represent 2-foot contours. So property is relatively flat in elevation, sloping to the southeast of the property. You also have the 100-year floodplain, which is the blue shaded line. Looking at the current comp plan designation, currently designated as auto urban residential, as well as the properties within the area city impact to the northeast and the south. Directly to the west, you have Mountain View Park, which is currently designated as parks and open space. The current subdivisions within the city limits boundary that are already developed are currently designated as neighborhood conservation. So what that auto urban residential designation means within the comp plan, it's typically developed at low to moderate density residential uses. We generally see about 3 to 7 units per acre with that designation. And the appropriate zoning districts are R1, R2, and R3. R1's low density residential. Then you have moderate density residential and medium density residential with the R3 zone. Looking at the current zoning district in surrounding area, subject properties ag forest to the northeast and south are also ag forest. Mountain View Park is designated as farm ranch, and then you also have some R2 moderate density residential for the existing single family neighborhood, Ford and Concord on Truman Streets. You see that R4 multifamily zone, which encompasses Good Sam to the southwest. This would be the proposal before the council tonight, is to rezone to that R2 designation. And what the zoning code says about the R2 zone, it's usually appropriate in a few different circumstances. One, when it's almost entirely surrounded by single family dwellings. You don't really have harsh terrain, and you can accommodate smaller lot sizes. Then you also have utilities and other public services that are adequate for the densities allowed. I just wanted to highlight the utility system. We currently have existing water and sanitary sewer mains that extend to the east, the city limits boundary on F Street, as well as D Street there. Also loop to the neighborhoods, and we have a water line that extends to the restroom at Mountain View Park. This would be our thoroughfare plan that shows future roadway alignments, and you see the current designation of some of these roadways. F Street, the green line represents a collector. The blue line represents a minor arterial. So you'll see Mountain View Road's also a minor arterial. And then you have the blue dash line, which represents a future kind of general alignment of where the roadway network needs to extend through this property. Just a review of the utilities in the area. Taking a look at our water system, we have existing mains in D and F streets. We've taken a look at the 2012 Comprehensive Water System Plan and done some modeling. It does describe the existing system as having adequate potable and fire flows to that area of the city. Looking at the sanitary sewer system, once again, we have those mains in D and F, and we have a 2011 comprehensive sewer system plan, and that has also determined that within that area, there's the existing system's adequate to serve the additional flow that could be generated from potential uses that are allowed within the R2 zone. Storm sewer system, as always, is conveyed through Paradise Creek throughout the city. So we utilize that for any future development that occurs on the property. With that, staff's recommendation is that the council conduct a public hearing upon the annexation, land use, and zoning designation, and upon consideration of any testimony presented, number one, approve the annexation ordinance under suspension of the rules requiring 3 complete and separate readings, and then it be read by title and published by summary. And if the annexation ordinance is approved, approve the proposed comprehensive plan land use designation resolution and adopt the Planning and Zoning Commission's reasoned statement of relevant criteria. And then if the annexation ordinance is approved, as well as the comp plan land use designation resolution, approve the proposed zoning ordinance under suspension of the rules requiring 3 complete and separate readings and that they be read by title and published by summary, and also adopt the Planning and Zoning Commission's reasoned statement of relevant criteria. All of those documents are attached to your packet tonight. And with that, I'd certainly be able to answer any questions that you might have about this.
Well, just to reiterate, Mike, we will have 1 public hearing and 3 actions. For just clarification, 1, 2, and 3, just as Mike had said. So questions for Mike? Art?
I have one. In the packet, the indication seems to be that the applicant would have to eventually get some easement right-of-ways to connect in with the water and sewer, and it says in the packet D Street, but here you have the option for D or F.
They do have the option. It's likely that in order to get gravity for sanitary, they'll end up going all the way down to D, but it's my understanding, and Les could certainly talk a little bit more about this, it's likely that they may need to run both D and F and complete the loop system for water.
Les, did you have a...
I can maybe clarify that a little bit. The water system would need to tie into F Street and likely include a loop from that stub that goes up to serve the restroom there in Mountain View Park to make a loop around, essentially around the park that would reach the site to provide adequate fire flow. As Mike mentioned, the sanitary sewer most likely would be a gravity flow system down to D Street. You know, they could run water down to D as well, but that's really up to them at that point.
Okay.
Walter?
Les, if I may, following up on that, the line up to the restroom at Mountain View Park, is that large? It's not just a 1 inch or something feeding the restroom. It's large enough that it could be looped?
That is a 6-inch main that goes up there. And depending on what the fire flow needs are of the building design when they finally get there, that may be adequate. It could be that if the fire flow needs are high enough, it might need to be upsized. But yeah, that's what's there today is a 6-inch.
And if I may follow up.
Continue.
And where is the largest city water main in Mountain View?
Well, the main in Mountain View really ends back at Sloniker Drive at the Blackwood Estates. The line in F Street would be our nearest large main. That's a 10-inch diameter in F to its terminus there at the city limit.
Okay. And if I may, a question for Mike. Mike, it's proposed to rezone from agforestry to R2, single-family residential. My belief is, or understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that schools can go in any zone.
Yeah, they're generally listed as conditional use permits within any zoning district.
So why rezone to R2?
To make it consistent with the comprehensive plan. So you have the auto-urban residential land use designation, which the property is currently designated as within the comp plan. And the zones that that designation points to are the R1, R2, and R3 zones. And we have a feeling that the R2 is more appropriate in this circumstance, and that's why they had gone with the R2 designation.
Thank you.
Other questions for Mike before I open up the public hearing? Okay, thank you, Mike. I will open up the public hearing, and I would like to hear from the applicant, please.
I'm Scott Becker with Hodge & Associates, 405 South Washington. I'd just like to say thank you to Mike and the staff for the job they did helping us to get this together. Really, Mike answered all the questions, but I would certainly be glad to answer any other ones if you had any questions for me, for the school.
I think we're good right now,
Okay.
Scott. Well,
Yep.
uh,
All right, thank you very much.
we may very well ask you to back up here,
Absolutely.
so go down, sit down, and enjoy yourself.